Hello and welcome to Emerald Exchange Orchestrated Intelligence Decoded. I'm Richelle Carey. Keeping financial services flowing for billions of people in hundreds of countries across every kind of financial institution is one of the great technological challenges of our time. The boundaries between banks, technology companies, and their customers are shifting faster than at any point in a generation. And the institutions navigating all of this need technology partners who can not only keep pace, but actually stay ahead. Few companies sit closer to the center of that challenge than FIS, processing trillions of dollars in transactions every year for more than 20,000 financial institutions worldwide. FIS is the infrastructure that keeps the global financial system running and increasingly the intelligence layer that helps it evolve. Joining me now is the CEO and President of FIS, Stephanie Ferris. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to talk to you. You have said, Stephanie, that we are in a generational moment in the financial services. Why do you say that, and what role does FIS play in this moment, this shift?
Yeah, we truly are. There's three things that are happening in financial services that have never happened before. The first is banks and the banking industry have incredible strength. They don't have any capital issues. They don't have any liquidity issues. They're extraordinarily strong. The second is with the rollback of the regulatory environment, and this is true around the world, they have the handcuffs off of them that are going to allow them to grow, whether they want to grow organically or they want to grow through M&A. We saw the largest amount of bank consolidation that we've seen in 10 years happen in 2025, and we see more of that coming in 2026. So you have incredibly strong industry. You have growth on agenda, organic or inorganic. And then the third, probably biggest tectonic moment is the shift in technology, in particular, this favorite word of ours, two-letter word, AI, which is really bringing to the forefront to the banking industry, something they've never seen before. And what I would tell you is that typically in the banking industry, most of us wait to adopt technology. We're slow followers or no followers. But this technology is enabling banks to really get after very much locked costs that have been in their franchises for a long time. So those three things coming together are making it a generational moment in financial services. And then so if you think about for FIS, which is the largest technology provider to this industry, we have a set of customers that are happy and growing. We have a set of customers that need to and want to spend money on technology to help either grow their franchise, protect their franchise, or service their franchise. So just all kinds of opportunities abound for us as we think about this moment in time.
Having said that, when you talk to your clients, what is the biggest challenge right now that is keeping them up at night?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say there's two. One is modernizing the bank and what banking looks like in a modern world. As you and I both know, we all now do digital banking. I mean, so we used to go in the branch and then we went to the ATM and then we went online and now we're doing mobile banking. But what does that continue to look like if you're a big bank or a small bank? And I can tell you for sure what I've already seen that's going to be coming to a theater near us and your mobile app. You're going to be able to start talking to your mobile app in plain language, much like you're talking to ChatGPT. And so for banks, as they think about how does a modern bank look and feel for their customers, they're thinking a lot about that. And so they need the technology and the capabilities and a partner that helps them make those changes either for their customers or in the back office. I think the second thing they're thinking about is how do I harness this opportunity with AI and do it in a very trust-oriented way? How can FIS help me bring AI into my bank in a trusted way that I can make sure I meet all of my regulatory requirements?
So since the completion of the Total Issuing Solutions acquisition, you have said that FIS operates the most comprehensive financial data set in the industry, right? Spanning the entire money lifecycle. What can you see and do for your clients that just was not possible before?
Yeah, it is actually absolutely so exciting and fantastic. So what we have is we have 90 million core banking accounts. So we know what you have in checking, what you have in savings. We know your name, we know your address. We keep this all locked tight, so don't be worried that we give it to anybody. But we have core banking customer information. We also have your credit card information. We have your debit card information. And we have your wealth account information. And so when you think about a bank, what a bank wants to provide to you is they want to give you hyper-personalized service. What does that mean? So let's just say you have a paycheck coming up on Friday. What the bank wants to be able to say to you proactively is something like, hey, your paycheck's coming up on Friday, but I think you're going to be a little short money on Wednesday. Would you like us to move money from your savings account to your checking account? They would also like to answer questions for you or offer advice out to you in terms of what to do with your wealth accounts. They've been after this hyper-personalization type of services because that's how you and I would love to be serviced from a bank, and it makes a lot of sense. They've never been able to do that because all of this data that they have, which we run, is locked up in all these different systems. So with AI, not only do we have an opportunity to aggregate the data for our banks and provide that information up in a real-time basis on what's happening with you, we can take the AI capabilities and then deliver and create models that create those opportunities for the bank to reach out to you and give those offerings. So those are very exciting changes, and it's going to change the landscape of how you and I interact with our bank.
It is very exciting. Let's talk about something else very exciting, the new partnership with Anthropic.
Yes.
Tell us more about it, and really how does this partnership help serve the banking industry as a whole?
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're very excited about it. So it's a really unique partnership. I think there's been a lot of mania around AI is going to disrupt FIS. And as you know, we're the largest financial technology provider to the banking industry globally. And I've been saying for a while, given how much data we have, which I thought was our moat, I actually think what our moat is, it's not just data. We have trusted data that we provide to banks. So you feel comfortable about everything being compliant, data privacy, it complies with all the risk, et cetera. So Anthropic came to us because they can create really interesting technology capabilities and automate account boarding. They can automate all kinds of processes inside a bank. What they can't say when they do that is this compliant? Does this meet all the regulatory requirements we need to have that's auditable and evidenceable to all of our regulators? And so the Anthropic and the FIS partnership together, we bring the data, we bring the regulatory know-how, and they bring their fantastic LLM models. And together we can then build things that banks can trust, and we can distribute those. So we're very, very excited about this partnership. We're starting with financial crimes, which is one of the biggest, most painful parts of financial institutions. And they spend a ton of money getting after it. So we're really, really excited about what we're doing here.
Okay, so this agentic fraud protection with Anthropic. You also launched the agentic commerce offering, partnering with MasterCard and Visa the same day as the total issuing deal closed. That's a lot. What are you signaling with these partnerships, these announcements? What are you signaling?
Yeah, so you should rely on FIS if you're a customer of FIS or a prospect of FIS, that we will be forward-leaning in terms of the next big thing that's happening in technology. We want to make sure that we are there and can provide those products and services to our customers in a risk and regulated way and keep banks healthy and fraud-free and compliant with all their regulations. So we're very excited about all of that. Interestingly, since we closed the total issuing transaction, we thought we would see a lot of agentic commerce, a lot of you authorizing your agent to go online and buy your airline ticket without you being in the loop. It's been interesting. It's gone a little bit slower than we expected.
Really?
It's still going to happen. Yes, you're not quite ready to give your agent full autonomous authority to buy something for you.
That's true.
My kids might, but we won't.
Right.
And so that's been going a little bit, so which actually is good, because when we think about that, what we're doing is, as part of that agentic capability, is not just making sure that our issuing banks know that it is your agent making the purchase for you and on your behalf, but also making sure that it's not fraudulent. So we want to make sure that if you want the transaction done, that we authorize that transaction and don't frustrate you by turning the transaction down. But we also want to block anybody, all the fraudulent agents that are coming in trying to use your card. So it's both. And we're very, very, very pleased with it.
So if you're just joining us, I am Richelle Carey, and this is the Emerald Exchange. I am talking with Stephanie Ferris, CEO and President of FIS, and we're exploring the scale of the challenge facing the financial institutions in the age of AI. So Stephanie, you have talked about AI needing to be both a top-down agenda and a bottom-up approach. For a company as large as FIS, it serves literally the world's largest banks. What does that actually look like, doing both of those things?
Yeah, so it's like power to the people, right? So the first thing is we have to have a top-down agenda in terms of, okay, if we're going to spend $100 million on AI, I have to set where we're going to spend that money. Are we going to develop products? Are we going to give it to our back office? Where is the best case where we should spend this money? Because as you know, it's not endless money. But at the same time, some of the best use cases we've seen is when we give AI capabilities out to everyone in the company, which we've done, and then they can generate their own ideas and their own activities in terms of how to make their job better for them, how to make them more efficient, how to create a product better. So it's both. You have to have both in a company. And I think when you have both coming together, you get the magic.
There are financial institutions that are watching this are navigating AI, right? Regulatory change, consolidation, rising client expectations, and uncertain geopolitics. That's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
Oh, so okay. Having said that, what is your honest assessment of how well equipped the industry is to handle all of these forces that are coming at everybody?
Yeah, it is a lot. And I have clients ask me a lot about what they should be focused on and what they should rely on us for. Because you're one institution, whether you're a community bank or you're a regional bank or a large bank, you can only do so many things. And so what I tell people is it's really hard to figure out what the signal is inside all the noise. So you should rely on FIS and us to tell you where we think the industry is going. You have to ultimately make your own decision. But if we think fundamentally like mobile banking is going to go completely where you're speaking to it instead of digitally, then we need to back that up with, and here's how we would provide that capability for you should you want to or need it. So I think you have, but then also in the bank, you have to be thoughtful about what is your strategy inside the bank and should you be using AI to make things better or not? Or is it just too expensive and you should rely on your partner? It's a really tough conversation and I every night am a little bit overwhelmed by what happened today.
Okay, so you too.
Yes.
You too.
Yes. But I think you go to sleep every night and you can get some clarity in the morning as you wake up on just never forget what's really important, what's going to move the needle, how you're going to help your customers every single day with a mind's eye of how your customers are going to feel differently, how they want to interact with you differently as all these changes come together.
No, but imagine too that kind of help you stay focused when there's a new shiny thing
every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes. And you're just going here and there, but you got to stay here.
Yes.
All right. So how about this? If you could leave the financial institutions that are watching this, leave them with one thing, one conviction about where the industry is going and what it takes to succeed in it, what would that be?
I think you have to be clear-eyed on what your bank strategy is. Don't be confused and get swayed. So if wealth is part of your strategy, make sure that you have the best set of tools and what you need to serve that set of customers. If as you think about tokenized deposits or digital currency, it's very easy to get confused. Do you need to be in that? Do you not need to be in that? Lean into your partners and your advisors to help them match the capabilities and the demands of your clients up with your ultimate strategy. And then constantly reassess, is this strategy going to work? Am I going to continue to be relevant in banking? Are there trends around me that I think could be disruptive ultimately to what I'm trying to accomplish? At the end of the day, what banks will tell me every single time is the value prop that they bring is the relationships that they have with their customers. And so we have to be relentless in this industry to say, what could possibly disrupt that relationship that you have with your customer? Or what can enhance that relationship What can we bring to enhance that relationship with your customer? And as you know, it's different for our parents than it is for us as it is for our kids.
Exactly.
And so that's where expectations change along the line. And so you do have to deliver things differently, but all according to your strategy and where your value prop shows up for your customer relationship.
That's a perfect final word, don't you think?
I think so.
Wonderful. Stephanie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stephanie Ferris. We have been speaking with Stephanie Ferris, the CEO and President of FIS, to explore more of the forces reshaping financial services and how the world's leading institutions are responding. Join me for more episodes of Emerald Exchange, and thank you for joining us.